everyone. Today I am doing a video that's a little bit different than what I usually do, but I just thought it would be cool to talk about some tips I have for being a runner. Now, I'm not an expert, I'm not a coach, I'm not a trainer. I'm in a running family. I've been running most of my life. I've started since I was really young. I did track and I do a lot of races, and I like to run. I run like, 3 to 5 times a week. So which is pretty good for me, and it depends on what other people think. But I just thought some of these tips are what really help me. And sometimes, I don't listen to them and then I kind of regret it, but I just thought it'd be cool to, give you some tips. And if you watch this video and, really like the tips, that's always a good thing. So I wrote down like all the tips, so I kind of thought makes sense. Take everything with a grain of salt, I guess. Maybe you need a little bit of a different strategy, but one of my main tips is take days off. Like, give yourself a rest day. I know some people run every day, especially my father. He is a guy that he needs to run every day. For him to have a good day, he needs to go for a run. I'm not at that stage where I want to run every day. I like to have at least a day off, maybe 2, or, sometimes even 3 or 4 if I'm really busy or if I'm just not really in the mood to run. Because not every day I'm in the mood to run. Maybe I want to do something else that's physical, or just take a day off. And it's very important to, rest yourself. You don't want to push your body. I like to push my body to a certain point, and then I know when I need to take a rest day. So, if my calves are really tight because I was doing a lot of running, I might, take a day off and let them rest a little bit, or maybe do some stretching afterwards. I'm a bad runner because I don't do stretching as much. Not that I'm a bad runner, but I feel like runners are, if you're active, you usually stretch your body a lot, but I don't really stretch that often, so I'm kind of bad for that. But I do like to do yoga occasionally and do some stretches, but I don't do it as regularly as I should. But yeah, so take days off. Excuse me. But I mean, if you want to run every day, I'm not telling you not to run every day, but if you think you need to take a day off, or maybe wait a little bit before you go for a run. Like, maybe you usually run in the mornings. Maybe you don't want to run in the morning, just wait till later in the day. I always like to switch my runs up. I can do early mornings. I usually do afternoon runs, and sometimes I like evening or night runs. But yeah, so that's a very important point. Don't push yourself to the point you're going to hurt yourself. Runners get a lot of injuries. I've had some injuries. I know a lot of other runners who have had major injuries because, they push themselves to their limits, and you don't want that to happen. So, yeah. Next point is running with friends or family, because running is a very social sport. I mean, of course, a lot of people run by themselves, and I do that too. Sometimes I don't want to run with other people. I want to run by myself, especially if I've had a stressful day. I just need to let the energy out, let the bad mojo out, and just go for a run. But I usually always want to run with people because it just gives you more motivation to go for a run. If you're just telling yourself you're going to go for a run, that may not happen. But if you ask someone to go for a run, that's going to make you want to go for a run because you asked someone to go for a run and they said they would. So, it's always nice to run with friends. I don't have too many, friends that are my close friends that they don't really run, but I have many running friends that, you could just go on Facebook or text them and be like, hey, you want to go for a run after work, after school, on a weekend or something. And running, you can go anywhere, and you don't have to go long, you don't have to go fast. You could just catch up with a friend you haven't seen in a while, and you can just go for a short jog or something, and maybe get a coffee afterwards. But I do think running with people is so much fun, or even running with running groups, especially where I am. There are so many running groups, but everywhere, even in big cities, there's always going to be a running group wherever you live, because so many people love to run, and it is really fun to do some running groups. I'm in a couple of groups, and they're just so much fun to do because everyone is in a good state of mind and they want to run, they want to hang out with other people, and it's just really nice. So, yes. And to my next point is drinking lots of water. This isn't just for runners, but this should be for everyone. I know sometimes it's hard to drink a lot of water, as maybe it's boring, but you can easily like add fruit to your water or mint, maybe like rosemary, I think. Or you could have tea. I mean, caffeine-free tea. I've heard some people say like caffeinated tea is not as hydrating. I'm not sure if that's true, but I mean definitely caffeine-free teas wouldn't hurt you. Or maybe you want like sparkling water. I know I used to love sparkling water to the point I drink it like every day, and now I only have it occasionally. But I do like to drink a lot of water. And you know, if it's hard for you to drink a lot of water, I suggest maybe getting like a water bottle that's really pretty, or drink it through a straw. Sometimes I feel more motivated to drink water if I have a straw with it. So this is my Starbucks tumbler. It's pretty big. It's 750 milliliters, 710 milliliters, and it's clear, so it's cute, and it has a nice straw. So, and I fill it up pretty often. And I also have a water bottle that is like the Swell bottles, but it has like a wood design on it, so that's pretty cool. So I find if I have a cool water bottle, I'm more motivated to drink out of it. Unless there's, you know, but if you have like a water bottle that leaks all over you whenever you drink out of it, that's kind of annoying. So I suggest getting like a, you know, a nice water bottle, and it doesn't have to be too expensive. You could go to the dollar store, go to Walmart, and you can get a water bottle that you like the design of, or you could drink out of mason jars. Excuse me, I like to drink out of mason jars. I don't know, they're cool. So I guess whatever you think is cool looking to make you drink water more often. Also, change your running routine. I know some people, they only run on pavement or they only run on trail. I suggest maybe do a mix of both. I have a running group that it's a trail running group, so every week we go on a different trail, and it's so much fun. Of course, sometimes I'm a little nervous where a trail is very technical, where you always have to kind of watch your feet. But it's always fun to find new trails. I always kind of feel more energetic, like I want to go faster on the trails, because it brings out the inner animal. I don't know if other people think that, but I get so excited on a trail. Sometimes I don't want to run on a trail, like sometimes I just want to run on the treadmill or just run outside on pavement. So it's totally up to you, but I find it's nice because with trail, it may be that you have to watch your footing more, but it's easier on your feet and your knees and legs, because the path is like not as hard, like it's softer, like it's mulch or grass. So I like to switch up, have like a trail run once a week or so at least. And it's just so much fun trying to find new trails, or like, you know, go on a track if you have a track near you, like, you know, 400-meter track. That's always nice to do fast repeats. For myself, I always think it's good to have a mix of endurance and speed. Of course, I'm a long distance runner, so I can do like 10K, 21.1K, which is a half marathon. I haven't done a full marathon yet, but I do plan on doing that someday. Just gotta put in the training. But I like to do any distance. I do like the longer distances, but sometimes it's nice to do like a 2 or 3K run, or go on the track, do some 400-meter repeats or 200-meter, or wherever you think. But you know, speed up your workout a little bit, or maybe slow it down. Maybe Tuesday you did a track workout and you ran really hard. Next day, maybe just go on just do a road run where you're on like the sidewalk and you're just running for like a 5K or something, or wherever. I'm not telling you what to do wherever time or distance. To me, I take it day by day. Maybe today I want to do a 10K, but I don't know what I want to do tomorrow. Maybe I don't want to run tomorrow, or maybe I do. So it just depends. Also, treadmills. I love doing treadmills, especially when it's wintertime because it's more icy outside and colder and it gets darker quicker. So I like to do a treadmill run once in a while. Sometimes even it could be a really nice day and I'm just in the mood to go on a treadmill. At my mom's there is actually a treadmill, so that's kind of nice and more motivation for me to go on the treadmill, even if it's just like 10 minutes. Like sometimes you don't have too much energy, but you know you want to go on a run, just give yourself, okay, I'm just going to go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. My minimum is 15 minutes when I feel really unproductive, but I know I need to get my butt to do something. So I'll be like, okay, Mom, I'm going downstairs. I'll be on the treadmill for at least 15 minutes. And then once you start running, you have more energy. So sometimes I think I'm just going to do 15 minutes, but I just get, excited. The endorphins are coming out, and I end up doing 30 minutes. So it just depends on day and night. I know it's easier to get your stuff done earlier rather than later, but sometimes I want to do a night run. And you also can do water running. Swimming is really good for you, and it's not too tough on you because you don't have as much impact as you would on running. So easily you could just do aquafit, go do a few laps, a few lanes of swimming like front crawl, back crawl, or water running. Just get like a water belt that's like a flotation device, wrap it around you, go in the deep end, literally run, but in the water, and it feels really good. I don't do it too often, but I do like it. I was planning to become a lifeguard. I still am. I just gotta get my practice in. But I have my bronze medallion, which is kind of like the first step of becoming a lifeguard. So there's technically 3 steps: bronze medallion, bronze cross, and NLS. So I'm on my first step. So doing that, you have to be able to do like 400 meters in 15 minutes, I believe, and then bronze cross, you have to do 500 meters in 18 minutes, I think. So when I was training for that kind of stuff, I would go to the pool 2 or 3 times a week. I haven't done that in a while because I kind of got off it, but I would like to go back because I do want to become a lifeguard. But yeah, just going for a couple swims or doing water running, aquafit. I love aquafit. Mostly older women do it, but aquafit can be for anyone. And it is really fun, and it's not too hard on the body. So, yeah. Or you can also bike. If you have a stationary bike or a regular bike, you can go outside, go for a bike ride. It's always fun. So, change your running routine. Some people, you can do the same thing every single day, but I feel that it keeps you kind of more in love with the sport. Excuse me, it's just nice to switch things up. Last night, I think I did my trail run with my running group, and it was so dark that we had to have our headlights on, and it was so cool because I've never ran in the dark like that before. And it was on trail. So it was very, tough on the mind and body, but it was so much fun because, you don't usually do that often. But it was really fun. So, just change your routine up. Also, I kind of already said this, but running with friends, sometimes it's nice to just be like, hey, so-and-so, you want to go for a run with me? Not too much commitment. Or, join a running group or do road races. I love doing road races. I actually have a Terry Fox shirt on. So my dad and I did the 10K for the charity. It was so much fun, and because of COVID, we did it virtually, so we kind of chose our route, and it was just really fun. And usually you get like a medal or a t-shirt, so it is really nice to do road races. I know right now they're mostly virtual, or they're not happening at all. But even virtual, it's fun. You can still get your medal in the mailbox, and you can celebrate with some of your friends afterwards. It's just really nice to do races. I keep all my running bibs from my races. I write down the time, I write down the distance, I write down the year, but some of the races I do every year because they're so much fun. I have some local races that we just do every year. And yeah, so road races are always fun. And you can do a 5K, many have multiple choices, so 10K, half marathon, full marathon, a relay. You could join you could have a group of friends, do like 5K each or something, or depends on what the relay is, but they do have relay challenges too. So that's fun. You can kind of split the distance with your friends. Or you can do 8K, and then they also have trail runs. They have like mud runs where you go through the mud and it's kind of like obstacle course, or just a multitude of variety of races and distances and locations. You can go on a trip and do a run. My family does that often, not necessarily right now because of COVID, and it's there's a lot of restrictions now, but yeah, just make a vacation out of it. Like if you want to go to London, they have so many races there. I would love to go to London just because, London's known for their tea and the scenery looks really nice, and, the London Marathon or any other local races in London. But yeah, make a trip out of it. That'd be so much fun. Like do a weekend where you go for a road trip, have a hotel room, hang out with your friends or family or significant other. So yeah, you can kind of do whatever. Also, I have a couple more points or tips. Listen to music or podcasts. I don't really listen to music anymore, like with earbuds on a run. But if I'm on a treadmill, I'll have my phone playing my music. But usually I do a podcast. So I have the podcast app on my phone. And I just recently started kind of getting into the podcast. So I'll go for a run on the treadmill and pick a podcast. I listen to Pretty Basic with Remy Ashton Cruz. Her name isn't Remy Ashton. That's her middle name, but it's Remy Cruz. And Alicia Marie. Those are their YouTube names, Remy Ashton and Alicia Marie. But they have a podcast together. They're like best friends. And they just give a lot of advice. And then another podcast is Ashley, Nicole, and Taryn Renee. They're also friends, and Ashley and Alicia are like sisters, and they live in LA. So 2 different podcasts are really nice. And then there's also Laura DIY. She's actually from Toronto, but she lives in LA, and she has a podcast with her boyfriend, Jeremy. Yeah. So I think Jeremy. But yeah, those are the podcasts I've been listening to. So I'll just start one and just run. Sometimes my volume isn't as loud, so I don't go as fast on the treadmill. But it's just a nice pace, and the podcasts are really funny. So you can kind of pick any podcast you want to listen to. On the podcast app, you can pick a podcast about business or money, scary stories, kind of whatever. But those are the podcasts I've been listening to, and I really like them. Or music. I mean, you could jam to your favorite song. For me, rock music really pumps me up. So if I'm not listening to a podcast, I'll listen to like my rock music. And I think rock is a great genre to just get you in the right mood to go for a run. And it just makes you want to go farther and longer and maybe go faster because, the beat of the music is really fast and really intense. So that's my preference. But you can listen to Hamilton. You can listen to classical music. Whatever you want. This isn't, like you have to stick to these tips. These are just tips that I like to, that I do. Sometimes I don't always follow, but I agree with all these tips, and they've helped me. So yeah. And also, layer up or layer down. Depending on where you live, if you live in a really cold place, or especially in the winter, you're going to want to wear more clothes than what you would in the summertime. But if you're in a run and you have a thick sweater on that you think you're not going to wear the whole time, just don't bring it. Just like, have like a t-shirt if it's really warm. Maybe if it's getting colder, like a t-shirt and a longer sleeve that may be a little warmer inside, or like a windbreaker jacket. Usually in the winter, I'll do like 2 layers, so a t-shirt and a long sleeve. Maybe if it's really, really cold, I'll do like a thicker long sleeve instead of a regular long sleeve. And in the summer, I'm usually wearing a tank top or maybe a t-shirt, but I like tank top better in the summer with shorts. I don't really wear tights often when running, only if it's really, really cold out. Sometimes even in the winter, you'll see me wearing shorts. But that's just me. That's my preference. I like wearing shorts most of the time. But sometimes if it's really cold in the winter, I will wear tights because I do live in a colder area. So, but yeah, it just depends. Like if you think you're not going to wear the jacket for the whole run, maybe leave that at home because you're going to be sweating. You're going to get really warm and you may not need it. And if you think you're going to end up tying it around your waist, it's just going to weigh you down a little bit. But totally up to you. Like if you think you want just to have it, yeah, sometimes when I go for a run, it starts off being cold because you're not moving. So I'll have a long sleeve on and I don't want to take it off. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I'm going to end up taking it off and having it wrapped around my waist. And it's just, I don't need that. But, it just depends on how you're feeling. Are you prepared to carry your jacket? Or maybe you might need a hat or like a headband, winter headband, and gloves for the winter time. So it just depends on where you are. Either layer up or layer down. Because you're going to get warm even in the cold. If it feels really cold, you're still going to warm up. But if it's really windy, you may want a lighter jacket just to keep the wind from keeping you cool. Because if it's cold and it's windy, the wind is always going to keep you cooled. So it just depends on where you are and, if you're going to get warm up or you need to maybe another layer. And the last tip. This is definitely a big thing. I always try to. After your run, you're going to be sweaty. And some people sweat more than others. I think I'm a heavy sweater when I sweat. So usually when I'm running with my mom, she barely sweats. And I'm sweating really intense. But anyway, after a run, you're going to be sweaty. And you're not going to want to stay in those sweaty clothes. You're going to want to get out of those immediately. And if you aren't available to take a shower, just put on dry clothes. That's going to make you feel better anyways. My tip is the second you're allowed to go take a shower, take a shower immediately. Get the warm water on you. My hair gets sweaty, so I'll wash my hair too and that stuff. But it's just nice to be in the warm water, dry off, put on new clothes. Comfy clothes like pajamas, if you had a really went on a later run, or maybe just put on a comfy sweater and comfy pants or whatever, just to keep yourself comfy. Because if I'm done a run and I'm still in sweaty clothes, I'm gonna feel gross. So I usually, the second, even if just putting on new clothes, dry clothes, and then doing a shower later on, that will make me still feel better. So these are just tips. I mean, these really help me out, especially some of the more important ones, getting out of those sweaty clothes, because who wants to be in sweaty clothes for for a long time? You want to, take a shower, and after a shower, you're going to feel so much better. I know sometimes it's either, do I want to eat first or do I want to shower first? Usually I recommend for myself to get the shower done first, and then you can relax and have your food and wherever. But yeah, I hope you guys like these tips. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about running. Of course, I'll still have my tea videos and that stuff, but it's nice to switch things up. And if you have any other tips, maybe I don't know about, or maybe I didn't think about, put them down in the comments. And, hopefully you like this video and want more. And, if you have any suggestions for more videos, I'd be happily excited to do that. So yeah, drink your water, run with friends, change out of your sweaty clothes, go for night runs, go for really morning runs, really early morning runs so you can like see the sunrise, take days off, listen to music or your favorite podcast. But yeah, hopefully you have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.